Hello again and welcome back to the Algarve and episode 59 of Main Street Martin.
I'm gonna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll write a classic to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight, 'cause that'll be the life. I'm gonna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll write a classic to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight, 'cause that'll be the life. 'Cause that'll be the life. 'Cause that'll be the life.
Now this episode is the fourth and final part in a series exploring the Eastern Algarve. We've flown from East Midlands Airport with Jet 2 and are staying at the Real Marina Hotel and Spa in the coastal city of Olhao. And we start the day at the train station in Olhao once again, and this time we're off inland to the city of Loulé. There are regular buses and trains, but there are a few things to consider if you're planning a trip. The bus station is centrally located, but the journey takes a little longer, and the train station is actually 6 kilometres away, and we had to change trains in Faro. Nevertheless, it wasn't an issue, and we got an Uber from the station into the city centre. So we've arrived in Faro, and we just have to change platforms to platform 4 to get the train to Loulé, which is the train that actually goes as far as Lagos, which is one of the places we were considering staying in the first place. Now, in previous episodes of this series, we've explored Olhao, Tavira and Faro, as well as taking a boat trip out into the Ria Formosa and beyond to see the dolphins. On this channel, you'll also find our trips to places like Malta and Madeira, city breaks in Brussels, Porto, Vienna and Salzburg, theme park holidays at Walt Disney World, Disneyland Paris and various other parks in the USA and Europe, plus other holidays in Mexico, Portugal and Spain, as well as cruises on various Carnival, Princess and MSC ships, which have provided cruise series in places like Curacao, Marseille, Rome, Bruges, Naples and Athens. Don't forget you can still check out all of those previous episodes right here on the channel, and if you enjoy any of the videos, please make sure you click on the like button, ring that notification bell to be informed of any future videos, and make sure you subscribe. Now, Loulé is not a major tourist destination like Albufeira, Portimao, Lagos or Tavira on the coast, but it is popular for day trips to see things like the 13th century castle and its famous market, or perhaps experience its festivals like the Carnival in March. And talking of carnivals, we didn't know and unwittingly turned up on a day that was the first day of a major festival, Festival Med 2025. It ran in Loulé this year from the 26th to the 29th of June, and it's one of the highlights of the Algarve summer event season, celebrating Mediterranean culture and international music, featuring dozens of international artists on stage around the city centre. Street performers wander around the old town providing entertainment, and there are food stalls lining the alleyways with arts and crafts, poetry, cinema, children's activities and all sorts of exhibitions taking place as well. Now, we were lucky. The Uber driver told us that it was the very first day, which is free of charge because everybody is setting up. But for the subsequent days, there is a charge to get into the old town and experience the festival. This is perhaps Loulé's most impressive piece of architecture, the Art Nouveau Mercado Municipal, the Municipal Market. It's a 1908 revivalist neo-Arab construction with 4 domes at each of the corners and 4 gates on each of the 4 sides. It has striking red roof domes and Arabic features contrasting against cream-coloured walls, and it certainly stands out. Here inside you'll not only find the famous fish market but also stalls selling a wide variety of goods, and if you're looking for local gifts to take back home, well, you'll certainly find plenty of options here, from honey and spices to jams and local wines. This is Loulé's main church, Igreja Matriz de São Clemente, and it's believed it was built on the site of an old mosque which stood here until 1249. That's when the Christians conquered the Algarve. It has a plain white exterior with a Gothic doorway and a clock tower that might have been a minaret. It's mostly Gothic construction from the 13th century, but there are some alterations from the 16th and especially from the 18th century when it was damaged by the 1755 earthquake. The sculptures inside are from the 18th century and reflect the Baroque style of the period, and one of the side chapels is an example of the Portuguese Gothic style of the 16th century. The church was dedicated to St. Clement as Loulé was conquered from the Moors on November the 23rd, the saint's feast day. It's usually open to the public in the mornings until midday and closed on Mondays, and on the day we visited they were setting up a PA system inside for the festival. In between the Igreja Matriz and the castle is the medieval Old Town. It's a small area of many cobbled streets that seem to head off in random directions. You'll find many small workshops, artisan studios, and as always in Portugal, many coffee shops. During the week you'll find that many of the old wooden doors are open, and you'll be able to see lots of traditional working industry like cobblers, woodworkers, potters, tile painters and so on. As we said at the beginning, while we were there they were getting ready for the festival, so things were slightly different. It's easy to get lost in this corner of Loulé, and while you're exploring in the narrow streets you may come across the back entrance to the convent if you've already missed it or skipped its entrance on the main high street. In this small courtyard, another stage is being built ahead of the music festival, but at the back you'll find the Municipal Archaeological Museum. It was rebuilt in the 13th century, is Moorish in origin, and still today features a great walled perimeter. The restored ruins house the Municipal Archaeological Museum, where Roman pottery and an interesting collection of Bronze Age elements are also exhibited. There's a glass floor inside, as you'll see in a moment, allowing you to see interesting excavated Moorish ruins. And when you visit the castle walls, you'll discover the important role they played during the Islamic period. It's a small but well curated museum with some interesting exhibits on Moorish and Roman life in Loulé and a medieval kitchen of the castle. It's well worth the small entry price of just under €2. Loulé's castle dates back over 700 years to the Reconquest period. It was built on the remains of a previous Muslim fortress under the instructions of King Alfonso III in 1249. Only 3 defensive towers and the connecting walls remain, but it proves a great focal point and shows how it used to impose on the old town and as a reminder of past more violent times. The rest of the castle and its walls have reportedly been used in many of the nearby buildings. As was often the case across the centuries, the recycling of bricks and material was commonplace. This tiny church is located just a few feet away from the castle entrance. It's a small chapel built in the mid-17th century by King João IV to commemorate Portuguese independence with the end of the Iberian Union. It was dedicated to Our Lady of Conception, Portugal's patron saint. Beautifully restored in 2007, its interior is covered with Baroque tile panels depicting scenes from the life of the Virgin. The gold-covered altarpiece features an image of Our Lady of Conception in the centre. This is another church, Igreja de São Francisco. The origin of the building dates back to a small chapel founded in the late Middle Ages, then called the Chapel of São Sebastião. Now, given its location far from the village and the adopted patron saint, protector against epidemics, it's thought to have been founded at the time of a plague outbreak. It's composed of a Latin cross plan with a chancel, a transept and a single nave. And in the altarpiece of the chancel, a piece of rare beauty, a tabernacle with the representation of a Eucharistic pelican with open wings belonging to the former convent of San Antonio de Loule. Another fascinating museum that's well worth a visit is Loulé's Islamic baths. They date back to the 12th century when Loulé was under Moorish rule. Amazingly, these are the first Islamic baths to have been uncovered on the Iberian Peninsula. They were only discovered around 16 years ago during renovation work on a historic house. They now form part of a small museum that's open from 10 until 6 every day except Mondays, and it's absolutely free of charge to enter, so it's well worth stopping by. On the way into Loulé in the morning by Uber, we spotted the municipal cemetery on the outskirts of the town. So, on our way back to the train station, we decided to walk back to the cemetery and have a look round before ordering an Uber from there. So we're taking a walk to the other side of Olhao. It takes about 40 minutes or so, I'd say, really early in the morning, but it's already very hot because we're going to walk around this part of the Ria Formosa Natural Park. It's about 3 kilometers. You see a number of different habitats and so on, but we'll see that as we go around. We picked up some water on the way. When you buy your tickets, there is a vending machine and there are toilets there. I'd certainly recommend that if you come in the summer, or at any time of year for that matter, it's a good idea to come as early as possible and bring plenty of water. The Ria Formosa Natural Park is vast, as we've said already, but the headquarters are here in Quinta do Marim. It's an area which covers about 40 hectares and encompasses several different habitats. There's a collection of salt marshes, of tidal flats, of freshwater ponds, beaches and dunes, as well as a large swathe of coastal pinewood and a dense undergrowth of Mediterranean brush. There's certainly a lot to see here, as you'll find out in a moment. There is a small admission fee of €3 to enter Quinta do Marim, and when you pay that you'll be given a map and additional information. It's open from 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening every weekday, and from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening on weekends and bank holidays. Amongst other things you'll find inside are the Ria Formosa Recovery Centre, and wildlife research operates here. Each and every day, wounded or sick birds and other animals are properly treated before being released once again into the wild. And here at the main headquarters, as well as offices for the staff, You can buy books and various pieces of literature, find lots of information and explore these fascinating exhibitions. Back outside, and one of the first things you notice in the Ria Formosa Park is just how peaceful and tranquil it is. From the information you're given and from the boards around the park, you'll see that the list of bird life and wildlife here is endless. And that goes for every season. It doesn't matter what time of year you come. You'll eventually come to this walkway which runs on the transition between land and the lagoon areas. And here between the marshes and the pine forest, there's a small dune where you'll find a large population of the aromatic curry plant. And beyond the dunes, during low tide particularly, you can see lots of breeding grounds. This is Marim's tide mill. It only stopped working in 1970, the last mill in the Ria Formosa to do so. The hydraulic mechanism, which uses tidal force to power its millstones and grind cereal, is now open to visitors. And if you want a magnificent view on the surrounding landscape, do as we did and climb onto the roof terrace. So in the middle of the park, Buried away are the remains of a Roman villa, which had quite a bit of land with it, but also, as you saw a moment ago, the salting tanks. So the villa's all beneath here, overgrown. This is all sort of fenced off, but they also found during archaeological digs here a temple, the villa itself, and much more, including a cemetery. As you can see, the walls go for quite some distance, and then here where we came in are the salting tanks. And this abandoned farm brings to an end our visit to the Ria Formosa Natural Park and our 2-week stay at the Real Marina Hotel and Spa in Portugal's Algarve resort of Olhao. Make sure you join me for future episodes though. We have more city breaks, holidays and cruises planned, we're going glamping, and we're going to be exploring the Christmas markets in the German city of Cologne. In the meantime, take a look at the other videos on the channel featuring Caribbean and Mediterranean cruises, plus our visits to eco parks and theme parks in Mexico, the United States and Europe. You'll also find a number of city breaks here at home in the UK and across Europe, as well as short breaks providing you with top tips, hints and ideas. As always, if you enjoy any of the videos, you can really help the channel by clicking on the like button, ringing the notification bell and subscribing. And make sure you join me next time for episode 60 of Main Street Martin.
I'm gonna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll write a class to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight. 'Cause that'll